What's up, y'all? I said, what's up, y'all? Look at me when I'm talking to you, bro. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. This is your boy Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and we in here. So check this out, bro. Before we get going on our video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, share the video, turn on your notifications, and go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. And if you got a breakdown or a prediction that you'd like me to do for you, knockoutboxing86 at yahoo.com is the email address. And don't forget about our live shows. You can catch us live every Wednesday and Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You can also catch me live every Sunday morning with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network, Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But let's go ahead and get it popping and get into our video. And today, Stephen Espinoza has cleared the air, I should say, on the failed negotiations between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And we are here to break all that down. So first and foremost, what he talked about was that how Showtime and the PBC, again, reiterating that they felt blindsided by Terence Crawford, that they didn't see this fight with David Avenesian coming. They had no idea he was negotiating another fight. And also that it would be a long time between him getting back to them. So they would send the offer, and he would be dragging his feet, getting back to him 2 weeks at a time here, 3 weeks at a time. They're just getting back to him very slowly, right? And that he knows that Errol and his team still want that Terence Crawford fight, but also he expressed that negotiations, if they get negotiated again, it can't be like last time. It can't be all of this go between and all this time spent between times that they get back to him. If the deal is there, if it's there to be made, they still interested in that fight. Some things that he also talked about that I want to discuss that I told y'all, bro. This is crazy, man. This is like, bro, I told y'all this shit, and people were like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Knockout, bro, that ain't the same thing. Well, look, somebody that was in the negotiations, that was trying to put on the fight, let you know that Terence Crawford was asking to approve expenses, and that shit is unprecedented. And I told y'all, man, ain't no fighter ever approve no expenses for a network that's putting on the damn production because the fighter ain't putting no money up. And Stephen Espinoza was like, if we give you, if we agree to let you approve expenses, what if you say no to some production costs? Or what if you say no to the way that we want to run the show, or we want to put on the event? Then do you have the last say? Does that mess up the event? No one has ever done that. No one has ever asked for that. And I tell you guys all the time, you ask for shit that ain't nobody asked for. You ask for shit that you know nobody would agree to, unless the only way you ask for that is if you don't really want to fight. It's like when Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy were asking for PBC, yeah, we'll take your offer for Jaime Munguia. You can pay for all the fighters' purses for Jaime Munguia and Jamal Charlo, but we got to make sure that DAZN is your broadcast partner. Bro, how? We the ones that's paying for the fight. How are we paying all the fighters for the fight, but then you want to have your broadcast partner broadcast the fight with us when we putting up all the money for the event? It don't work that way. It's the same shit with Terence Crawford, bro. Same shit. How are you going to approve expenses when you ain't putting up no money for them? You want the right to approve what they spend to put on the production of the fight, but you ain't putting up no money for the production of the fight. I told y'all that shit didn't make sense. You want to be able to tell them, hey, this microphone is too expensive. Hey, I don't think we need to have 4 press conferences. We should just do 2. Hey, I don't think that we should pay this much for the ring ropes in the ring. I think that we should pay that much. You want that type of ability, but you ain't putting up no money for it. That shit never made sense, bro. And so basically, with all that being said, man, it's like this fight is getting made between Spence and Crawford. It's gonna come down to how realistic Crawford is, bro. Because Espinoza also said in the interview when talking about the failed negotiations that Errol Spence had already his shit was done. He was good to go. He was ready. They were just trying to work stuff out on Crawford's side. And he also said that, you know, it was unprecedented or that it wasn't unprecedented, because if you listen to Terence Crawford and his team and his fans and stuff like that talk, he said that they would tell you that, you know, no guarantee, that no one's ever gotten no guarantee in the fight. Stephen Espinoza says that's pretty regular, and that he could name 20 fights off the top of his head that he's done where there was no guarantee for a pay-per-view fight. He said a couple of Tank Davis's pay-per-views, there was no guaranteed money for Tank Davis. I don't know how true or untrue that is, because I'm not in the negotiation tables. What I will say is Errol Spence had no guarantee either. And two, this is what Terence Crawford claimed that he agreed to. So if a fighter claimed that he's agreed to something, as fight fans, who are we to try to argue against that or to try to make that the reason that the fight didn't happen? So if you're gonna try to make that point, you have to first call Terence Crawford a liar, because that would mean that he didn't agree to it. And then you could try to use that as a talking point, but you can't use a talking point that a fighter claimed he agreed to. It doesn't work that way, bro. If he claiming that he agreed to everything, you can't say that the shit that he agreed to is what stopped the fight from happening. Common sense, it don't work that way, man. And so I thought that was interesting. But the main part of the interview that I got from Stephen Espinoza is that they want to go back into negotiations with Terence Crawford. That Errol Spence isn't interested in any tune-ups. That yes, he's taking a fight in the interim, and that it's going to be a big fight. He named Keith Thurman. Obviously, we know that that's the rumor that's going around. That's what all signs are pointing to, is that we about to get Errol Spence and Keith Thurman in the late spring, early summer. Hopefully in the spring. Hopefully that fight happens in April, early May at the latest, so that we can spend the back half of the year hopefully getting them to make this fight between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And that Errol don't want no tune-ups, but that Errol does want the fight with Terence Bud Crawford. But he reiterated this, that we have to be more realistic. We have to be more prompt. He said no one wants to go weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months negotiating things that should be easy to be agreed to. And this goes back to what Bob Arum said about Terence Crawford. Now we're seeing a trend here. Now we're seeing that, like, okay, Bob Arum said you were difficult to deal with. Now you got these negotiations, and then now you have another executive and Showtime runner and sports runner, Stephen Espinoza, saying that you were difficult to negotiate with, in so many words, bro. When you say that somebody's not getting back to you in a timely manner, when you say that hopefully you guys can come to an agreement and there are certain things that you should be able to agree to in principle, right? Or that should be easy to be agreed to, I should say, then you're saying that person is being difficult to negotiate with. If they're asking for shit that you ain't never seen asked for before, and you've been doing this as long as Stephen Espinoza has been doing this, you're saying that they asking you for shit that they ain't, that people don't typically ask for, or that might be a tad bit unrealistic. That's what you're saying, bro. So you got Stephen Espinoza saying that. You got what Bob Arum is saying about Terence Bud Crawford. At some point, how many times and how many people have to say a certain thing about you for us to start putting some validity on it and saying that it may be true? How many times did people have to say that Whitney Houston, was a drug addict before people finally started believing that she was a drug addict? How many times and how many different people? How many people had to say the shit that they said about R. Kelly before we finally realized that shit probably true? How many people have to tell you that Terence Crawford is difficult to agree to negotiate with? How many people have to tell you that Terence Bud Crawford messed up the Errol Spence fight? How many facts have to be thrown your way for you to realize that Terence Bud Crawford is the reason that we're not getting the fight that we want to see Terence Bud Crawford in? It's like people want to blame everybody but Bud, bro. And Stephen Espinoza gives us another example of why the fight fell through. He's the Showtime exec. He's the guy that's putting up the money for the fight. He's saying that one side shit was all the way done. He's saying that another side, they wasn't getting back to him. They was being slow to negotiate. They was asking for shit that they had never been asked for. All the shit that I told y'all months ago when this shit fell through and we broke the news and we found, and the news broke. I didn't break the news. And the news broke that it was transparency issues and approval of expenses and all that shit. When I broke that shit down for y'all and told y'all this shit don't make no sense, Bud Crawford is ducking out the fight, man. He asking for shit that don't nobody ask for. He asking for unrealistic shit. I told y'all this shit months ago. Now, Stephen Espinoza is doubling down and saying what I already told y'all months ago, man. I'm telling y'all, the takes age like fine wine. Start listening to what we be saying, man. I don't just be making shit up. I don't just be pushing no narrative. I just tell you guys the truth. And I give you the logic behind why I'm saying what I'm saying, bro. So there you have it, man. Stephen Espinoza in his interview, you know, letting it be known that basically it was Terence Bud Crawford's fault, man. That's why the same shit I've been saying. It was his fault we didn't get the fight, and he's hoping that they can get back to the negotiation table. People can be more realistic, and then hopefully we can get the fight that we all want. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment down below. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Turn on your notifications. Go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. For breakdowns and predictions, you can hit my email, knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. Appreciate everybody watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, we out of here. Peace out, y'all.